Hi guys, welcome back to Lost in My Library. My name is Kate and today I am doing my TBR for NSFWathon. So before I get started, I do want to mention that in the description there will be links to petitions for Black Lives Matter, and there's a link to a video that if you can't donate monetarily, you can have this video playing in the background, and all AdSense and anything that's going to come from this video is going to be donated to families that have lost loved ones during this time, and for bail money and all that kind of stuff for people who were wrongly arrested during this time. I would like to keep creating videos. This is kind of my creative output, but I'm not going to ignore the elephant in the room and the major thing that's going on in my country at this moment and what's happening in the world. I'm not ignoring it. This is something I feel like it helps with anxiety and depression doing something like this, just having this creative output for me, and I would like to keep continuing it, so I will, in every video for a long time, for the foreseeable future, I will be mentioning about the Black Lives Matter petitions and the video that you can watch that will be down in the description. Maybe if I ever figure out how to do links and you click on the video, all of that, I'll do that too at some point. Maybe if I ever figured out how to do it. I don't know how to do it at the moment. Alright, with that out of the way, let's move on to what my TBR is. So, NSFW is basically not safe for work things, but you can read books that aren't NSFW, I believe. My TBR is filled with both Black authors and Asian authors, with very few white authors. So I found a few that were just perfect for Black authors. There is one book that deals with race, and I want to give it a shot, but it is not by a Black author, it is by a white author. But it's been on my radar for a while, and so I've wanted to give that one a shot. Alright, so the first one is SHIT. I don't cuss, and YouTube doesn't like that. So, and it is to read a 5-star prediction and hope that it is crap. We'll just say crap. Okay. So this book I chose, and it is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. This is a horror novel, I believe. I was meant to read this last month, but I didn't. I've heard great things about it. It looks really interesting, and I think it's going to be right up my alley with being a big fan of Supernatural. I really think that with being a huge fan of Supernatural, I think this is something that would be right up my alley, something that I'd love to read, and I'd love to, read more of Grady Hendrix. Grady Hendrix, I've noticed, writes a lot of, interesting paranormal, horror novels, and I would love to continue reading their work. Horror Store, which is about it's basically like a haunted IKEA, from what I heard. It's kind of I don't know, it just looks really interesting as well, so I think Grady Hendrix is somebody that I should be keeping an eye on, and if I like my best friend's exorcism, they might become an auto-buy author for me. So, alright. Next one is Blue Balls. Read a book with a massive cliffhanger. And for that one, I felt like you had to have read these books before to know if it has a major cliffhanger, or I don't know. But for this one, I chose The Mark of Athena by Rick Riordan. This ends with sort of a literal cliffhanger, hanging from a cliff, kind of. Basically, the last scene is almost a literal cliffhanger. But yeah, this was my favorite book of the series. I've reread House of Hades, the sequel, pretty recently, and I would like to see if I liked House of Hades a lot more than Mark of Athena, just because House of Hades is largely, a big portion of it, a Percabeth story, which is amazing. I didn't know I needed that so much. A story where they were already a couple and just, they go on this journey. It's it's scary. And after having read the whole book, and then rereading it and knowing how it turns out, it's just a giant relief. And then you can just focus on the cute stuff about relationships. Their relationship is just I needed this. I didn't know I needed this, but I needed this in my life. So this is the book that leads up to that. We have, that's Jason, and that's Percy on the cover, So, yeah, I'm very excited to reread it. Alright. Next one is Deep Throating. Read a book that deals with hard to swallow topic matter. And I chose this lady because she is one of my all-time favorite authors. She sadly passed away last year. In my last vlog, I actually made I read a quote from her. She was an amazing lady. I want to read everything by her. But all of her novels are hard-hitting and very difficult to read. So I'm going to reread the first book I ever read by her, and that is A Mercy by Toni Morrison. You can see she's on the back. This is about a girl who, in the beginning of the novel, her mom gives her away to another slave owner, or has the slave owner buys her from the slave owner that owns her mom. And she has a lot of resentment for her mom for doing this, but her new slave owner, as far as slave owners go, he's not a terrible person, but again, he's a slave owner. So that automatically makes him, bad. This is told in multiple perspectives, and it switches quite suddenly, and it doesn't tell you whose perspective it's from. You just kind of have to figure it out from the context clues of the novel of whose perspective you're seeing. And it's just a really hard novel about accepting what happened, trauma with your parents, trauma of, there's mentions of sexual assault. She doesn't experience sexual assault in this novel because, again, her slave owner is actually not a terrible person. Again, slave owner. There is mentions of it with thinking about her mom, and what's happened with her mom, and I think the book just ends perfectly. And so I can't tell much more without going into spoilers of what happens with her. Toni Morrison's novels also have this magical realism aspect to them. This one does, and a lot more with, I think it's up there, Beloved, which I also read in college, and I love Toni Morrison a lot. So anytime people are like, I don't like magical realism, I'm like, you need to read Toni Morrison, because I think Toni Morrison is going to change your life if you don't like magical realism. I think she's going to change your life if you pick up a novel by Toni Morrison, because she's just that amazing. And she's going to be an instant classic. Like, all of her novels are going to be classics, and I am here for it. I love it so much. So I'm also looking forward to reading her, I think it was the last book she published. It's like a collection of her essays and short stories and speeches from her, and I would just love to hear like her taught, not necessarily in her novels, her nonfiction. Alright. Okay, so the next one is Soggy Biscuit, which is a book with multiple perspectives. And this is the one that I said is written by a white author, but I would love to give it a chance, and that is Valentine, and I forgot the name of the author. It's set in Texas, and there's a crime that's committed, and so it kind of follows the crime and the stories about race and sexuality, sexism, racism, sexism, all of that. It's set in the 80s, I believe, so, still in the height of women's rights and black people, rights all around. So trying to, figure everything out. So I'm very excited. And also, this is set in the Deep South, Texas, where racism and sexism is all over the place. We're getting better, but we're still, not good. Still not good, but we're getting better. Which is to read a book with a blue cover, and I almost was like Percy Jackson. Ayo. Because that anything like blue cover, blue, like, that's all Percy Jackson to me. Sorry. I'm reading Percy Jackson right now, by the way. In this one, I'm going to read Self-Made by the Life of Madam C.J. Walker. This is by Amila, I think that's, I can't pronounce her name, I'm sorry. And this is about a woman who, it's her story of making her way and getting her American dream, self-made. So, and apparently there's going to be a documentary. I don't know if it's on Netflix yet, or if it's coming to Netflix, with the amazing Octavia Spencer as the lead, CJ Walker. So I want to read it and hopefully read the documentary or movie or whatever it's going to be about it. So I love Octavia Spencer. I think she is amazing. She has done so much good work in movies. Okay, next one is Lemon Stealing Whore. And that is to read a book that features food or is from a new to you author. So I'm doing a new to me author, and this is by an Asian author. We were supposed to read this for my FemLit class, but we didn't end up, books got taken off the schedule and added on, and a lot of different things. And so I still bought the book, and that is Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan. This is about, from the book, back of the book, it says it's about 4 Chinese women, recent immigrants to San Francisco, begin meeting to eat dim sum, play mahjong, and talk. United in share and loss, they call themselves the Joy Luck Club. So this just seems like a nice, historical fiction novel, about 4 Chinese Asian women. So, that sounds really, and that's right after World War II. So that might be interesting to see how that comes up, because a lot of people will just see Asian and think, like, oh, they were the enemy we were fighting like 4 years ago, and not realize it's two different nationalities. So I have a feeling that might come up. It's still pretty new after World War II. Oh, this is an older book. This is the 25th anniversary. When was this written? I didn't know this was an older book. Let's see. And Amy Tan is obviously Tan. This was written in 1989. Interesting. This is Mercy. So this is not a newer book. This is an older book. When was this written? When was this published? Mercy. Oh. This is still fairly new. 2008. I didn't realize that was new. I was thinking this was new and this was older. Wow. Okay. Next is porn, read, and ebook. And for this one, I'm consulting my a card that I have all these written down. For this one, I am reading They Called Us Enemy. This is by Taiki. I didn't write authors' names down, and I feel awful that I didn't write these. He's the guy that originally played Spock in the original Star Trek movies. This is also a World War II kind of set novel. I think it's set after World War II, about a young boy coming to terms with what's happened in World War II and people hating on Japan and everything. So it looked really cute. It looked like maybe it could be a hard-hitting novel. The cover looks cute-ish. I'll have a picture here. It's striking. So my Libby app has it, so I'm going to read it. Okay. Read a book under 200 pages, and for this one I'm going to read They Say Blue. And this is also by an Asian author. The author's name will be here too. This is only 40 pages, apparently. According to Goodreads, this is only 40 pages. It looks like to be a children's story. And it just looks really cute. Looks really, really, really cute. And I have no idea what this is about. But I was like, I had seen this. This was on my one to read, and like I've had a ton of different books, and I was just like, this looks really cute. It's only 40 pages, so I could sit and read this really, really quickly. So the last book is my third out of how many? 4, 3, 4, 8, 9. So 2/3 of my my TBR is by authors of color, and then there's 3 white authors in here as well. So, and this is aftercare, pair a book with self-care. Example, read a book, do a face mask, drink your favorite beverage. So I wanted to read a cutesy novel. If this was to be like self-care and feeling good, I wanted to read a feel-good novel. So I'm going to read Vampire Knitting Club Book 2 by Nancy Warren. I have fallen in love with this series, and it's so heartwarming. I've noticed also that she has 2 other book series. One is a witch book club series, And then there's the Great Witch Bake Off. And I was like, this woman knows the way to my heart. It's baking, knitting, and books. Like, this woman knows the way to my heart. I have stumbled upon something that's quite honestly kind of amazing. So is she going to be an auto-buy author? Quite possibly, because what? That's kind of crazy. And I've fallen in love with this little series of Vampire Knitting Club. I love it. I love it so much, even though I've only read the first book and a short story. But I love it. It's very, very good. So, okay, and that is my TBR for NSFWathon. I hope you enjoyed. Again, there will be links in the description for Black Lives Matter and the video that is that you can watch and not have to spend if you don't have the money to spend for donating to any fundraisers, charities for people who are in need because of what's happened in the last week or two. Today's been a good day because not only has the 3 other officers been arrested, this is a cause for celebration. Yes, yes, yes. But the guy that actually was like kneeling on the guy's neck, George Floyd's neck, is being brought up to 2nd-degree murder, which I think is the farthest they can go, really, because 1st-degree murder means that they went out that day and was like, I'm gonna go murder this person, and there's no evidence to show that he was like, I'm going out today and I'm gonna murder this guy. So 2nd-degree murder is all we're going to be able to get on this guy, it seems. But a win is still a win, guys. We haven't gotten the complete win. We still have to wait for the trial. So hopefully he gets convicted and stays in jail for a very long, very, very long time. And I'm hoping the medical examiner who wrote some BS, the first one, the one that said that he died because of underlying conditions, complete BS. I hope there is some criminal actions taken upon him. Hope he's arrested or fined by much. Hopefully, I would love for him to lose his medical license and his practice, but that's probably not going to happen. So we're just going to sit here and hope something happens to him, because it's complete and utter BS what he wrote. Complete, utter BS. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next one. Bye, guys.